guest today is Fabian Fernandez. Fabian, how are you?
Hi, David. Very good. You?
I'm doing really well. I'm going to call you Fabian, I know, because I happen to know that you're from a Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah, I'm from Uruguay. You got that right.
I've been to Uruguay.
Yeah, and why did you been to Uruguay?
I've been to Montevideo, Uruguay for the .NET Conf that you invited me to.
Nice. Yeah, I know that, and that was really cool to have you there.
It was awesome. What do you do?
Well, what I do a lot of things. So
For a living, I mean.
For a living, I'm the CEO of Kaizen Softworks, which is a custom software development company based in Uruguay, 100% dedicated to U.S. companies.
Oh, okay. Excellent. And you do more than that. You also, the reason I was in Uruguay is because you were organizing and hosting a conference.
That's
in
right.
Montevideo. Tell me about that.
So I'm really involved with the community, the .NET community, since 2013. In Uruguay, we started with the meetups, but then I gathered a bunch of crazy dudes with a crazy idea that we just wanted to create the biggest and most important conference about Microsoft and open source technologies there. So we founded NETConf, which is the conference you've been there, and it never stopped growing. So far, we are going for the 5th edition, 5 countries.
5 countries?
Yeah.
It started in Uruguay?
It started all in Uruguay for 3 years. It's a conference of 500 attendees so far. And yeah, it is started all there in Montevideo, the capital. Small country, small city.
And from there it grew to where else?
Well, it grew first to Argentina. We have a bunch of dudes from Argentina that are also MVPs here with us.
Yep. And I noticed there were a lot of attendees from Argentina at your conference in
There
Uruguay.
are, yeah. Yeah. And then it grew to Colombia. And this year is also going to be held in Chile and Peru, which is really, really cool. And we are starting to get people interested coming from the United States, Canada, Spain, hopefully a bunch of other countries around the world.
So I came down from Chicago, and you were introduced to me through Rachel Appel, who's also from the New York, Pennsylvania area.
Yeah.
And I just learned last night that Pilchi came to your conference as well. Kevin Pilch-Passan.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel was a speaker of our conferences in the 3 first countries that we held, and then she was in Uruguay, in Argentina, and Colombia.
She went to all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky
to
Rachel.
All of them. Yeah.
Lucky you guys too.
It was really nice.
So it's obviously been successful if you're already at 3 and expanding to 5. What's your goal? What's your mission for this?
So the mission, you can read it in our new website of the NETConf Global, which is the new, let's say, movement and group of people that are trying to empower all this. And our mission is to create an ecosystem that connects students, professionals, and speakers all around the world to spread the word about that, about Microsoft technologies and open source, and share that knowledge. So it could be with conferences, meetups, forums, whatever, but all through knowledge sharing, the way we have been doing so far.
Okay, so the conferences are just a part of that ecosystem you just described.
Yeah, that was how it was born, right? But the new plan is to start thinking about new ideas. It's pretty new right now. Like, we founded this new movement like a couple weeks ago. So, but the original thing was all the conferences, right? But we discovered that we learn how to do this conference, we learn about the framework, we learn more about the community and how it interacts, what the community wants and how it wants. So we are just now thinking about new ways of sharing that knowledge with them.
Excellent. Now, do you attend all these other conferences in other countries? Do you go to like the .NET Conf in Colombia, for example?
Or to the conference that we do? Yeah.
And are you organizing that, or is there somebody local that's organizing it, or is it a combination? So
basically, how we do it is that the original founding team to every new country edition collaborates in the organization actively, right? For the first edition on that new country. So for the second edition, we are more like passive collaborators. We just let the team that has learned already how to do that conference to do it by themselves, right? But yes, at least for the first editions, we go to the country, we help them. We also go before even several months before the conference gets done. We help them sell the conference to sponsors, to explain exactly and transmit the idea of why we are doing this, why we are doing it, and why you should support us.
Do you find that you can just take a pattern and just sort of plug it into each country, or do you have to modify it so it's specific to Argentina, specific to Uruguay, and so on?
At first, I believed that we should get an idea exactly of how it was going to be in that country and mold it to it. But I find some things that are repeatable, like the .NET community for a period of time got a little quiet, right? So these new conferences are pushing forward the community and delivering what they were not getting for so long ago. So in South America, at least, that is a thing. Maybe in the United States, that you are used to have these .NET conferences around, we should start thinking about why we are which is our differentiator to get it here. But
that's interesting. So this is .NET conference really didn't exist. I mean, other .NET conference, they didn't exist in South America before you started .NET Conf?
As far as I remember, for example, in Uruguay, there were a couple of conferences.
Okay.
A long time ago. I think it was when I started in the IT industry, like more than 10 years ago, and they were done by Microsoft, right?
I see. So the community-run conferences,
they weren't
that's relatively
driven.
new. You're driving that.
Yeah.
Okay. And we've had those here for a long time, actually, here in the U.S.
Cool.
Yeah. It's hard for me to speak to what goes on in Latin America because that was my first trip. Last year was my first trip to South America. But you make many trips. Like your business takes you to the United States
I travel
quite
here
a
like
bit.
4 or 5 times a year sometimes.
So you have a much better perspective on this than I do, is what I'm saying.
So one thing that I find really cool of being here at the MVP Summit is connect with other fellows, right? That we are a lot of people here that organize events, speak, all that stuff, and it's really good to understand their view and their perspective from the city they live on.
Right.
And you get to connect with people. I don't know. So the first guy that comes to my mind is Dave from Miami, and he organizes the code camp there.
Oh, Dave Noderer, really nice guy.
Dave Noderer, exactly. And I mean, his conference, his code camp is like 1,000 people of attendees. Pretty big, right? And he has been doing that for several years so far. And I have learned by talking with him, I have learned a bunch of things that are really useful for us. So it's great to be here. Right?
Excellent. Right now it's early March 2018. When is the next .NET Conf?
Next .NET conference. So probably September will be, we are talking about Argentina.
Okay.
Then October will be Uruguay, and November Colombia. And also we will have Chile and Peru, which the dates are still in the planning.
But there'll be that time of year. That's spring in South America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, entering summer by November,
okay.
December.
Excellent. Anything else that we haven't talked about that we should have?
I think we have covered pretty much what excites me the most. That was one of the things that you asked me before start the interview. What excited me the most, and I think besides all the business I get into, that I really like my job, the .NET Conf, the community, the meetups, the speaking things, and all that stuff that also allows me to be part of all this, of the MVP. I think that's one of the things on the top 3 that excites me the most of my life.
I think it's awesome you have this passion for building community, and and that benefits the rest of us that you're doing so.
Cool.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to this interview. For every one of you that has watched this show, first I have to thank you Technology is what makes me really have this passion to share the knowledge with all the community. I have been here for 10 years and met a bunch of friends working on this. And when you do things with passion and with your friends, that's when magic happens and things like the NETConf get done. So I encourage all of you to get with your friends and do big stuff.